8 November 2023 marks the 150 years of the first Catholic baptisms in the entire Chotanagpur at village Kuntpani near Chaibasa, Jharkhand. Archbishop Walter Steens, S.J. of Bengal Vicariate, on his first pastoral visit to Chaibasa, baptized 28 Munda Adivasis. The Archbishop sent Father Augustus Stockman from Midnapur to undertake an exploratory visit to Chaibasa in Chotanagpur. Soon, in June 1874, the newly baptized moved out from Kuntpani to the neighborhood Munda area to Burudi. Father Stockman and the sisters also went with them. However, the sisters with the orphans had to return to Chaibasa due to a cholera breakout within a few months. Father Stockman continued to serve Chaibasa through an assistant, Father Cornelius Hogger. Burudi Kochang had, within a short time, more Adivasis baptized. Another substation, Buruma, was opened. Father Ferdinand de Kock, chaplain at the military garrison in Duranda, was assigned there. By 1881, there were 34 Catholics at Buruma. The same year, Father Joseph Mulinder was appointed to Buruma, who stayed there for 9 years, established Sarvada and Dolda, and reached out to Marangada. Father John Ferens started the Bandgaon station in 1882. Fathers Jan Desmet and Celestine Motit arrived in the area by 1884, and the 4 missions Sarvada, Dolda, Bandgaon and Burudi were firmly established within a decade of the first baptisms, which came to be known as the quadrilateral. In the 5 stations, including Chaibasa, there were 1837 Adivasi Catholics. The young Father Constant Levens was missioned to Jamgaon in March 1885. Where he picked up Mundari and Urao. Further, he took charge of the area up to Bandgaon and conducted exploratory tours into Dorma and Torpa. Within months, he left Jamgaon and settled at Torpa in November 1885, where he realized that the whole country groaned under the weight of the most shocking forms of injustice. Land alienation, zamindari, exorbitant interest rates, and such ills. And it is here the faith revolution began, with thousands of Adivasis found solace to their misery. Villages and tolis by their dozens embraced the new faith to become free. As the faith spread, Ranchi was deemed convenient for missionary activities, and hence the first Jesuit house in Ranchi, Manresa, became the center of activities. In 1888, Archbishop Goethals decreed that Father Levens would be the director of the whole mission, excluding Sarvada and Dolda. Under his direction, new areas were visited, new missions were founded, and he himself undertook periodic long visits to Luhardaga, Barve, and Biru, baptizing thousands at times. But his extraordinary apostolic exertions completely ruined his health. In August 1892, he left for Belgium, and on November 1893, the Apostle of Chotanagpur died in Louvain at the age of only 38. In 1903, the new stations of Samtoli and Kurdeg, bordering Jashpur, were established. While touring the areas of Barve, Kurund, Fathers Garden, and Dehon, met a deputation, some 70 Adivasis from Chechari, Mahuadan, who wanted to become Catholics. Since no missionaries were immediately available, the 70 were given minimum instruction and were advised to return home. They returned and enthusiastically taught their fellow villagers the basics of faith they had learned in Kurund. The Chechari Valley had some 12,000 residents. Several catechists were appointed for instruction, and when missionaries were available, thousands were baptized. In 1903, the Archbishop appealed to the Raja of Gangpur for permission for his missionaries to settle in Gangpur. This permission was denied. In the same year, Father J.B. Hoffman, who was known to the Raja, re-appealed but without any success. The only thing they could do was to visit the Catholics of Gangpur occasionally. At last, in another attempt at getting the land, Archbishop Mulman travelled to Sambalpur and succeeded in getting permission. In 1908, the land in Kesramal was bought, and the Gangpur mission was firmly established. By then, there were 6,000 Catholics. Thereafter, permission was obtained for the fathers to settle at Hamirpur in 1918, at Gairbira in 1922, and for Jhunmur in 1926. Kusumdegi had to wait to become an independent station in 1929. On 14 June 1906, at the request of the people, the father crossed over the Jashpur border into the forbidden territory. Father Cyril came to Gina Bahar and pitched his tent under a banyan tree in June 1912. From this tent, the gospel was carried all around the villages, and the Orans accepted Christianity in huge numbers. In 1915, the Raja finally gave permission to establish the parish, from where faith made rapid progress. In 1886, Pope Leo XVIII established the church hierarchy in India. The vast Bengal Apostolic Vicariate, Calcutta to Sambalpur, Darjeeling to Cuttack, became the Calcutta Archdiocese. Archbishop Paul Goethals, after his death 1901, was succeeded by Father Britius Moolman, the then Bengal Mission Superior. Ranchi became a diocese in 1927. Jamshedpur Diocese was created in July 1962 with its first bishop, Lawrence Pikachi, comprising the areas belonging to Calcutta and Ranchi Archdiocese. Since then, several other dioceses have been established in Jharkhand and elsewhere. As we celebrate the 150 glorious years of the pilgrimage of faith in the whole of Chotanagpur, we recall the abundant blessings received. We remember with gratitude the missionary stalwarts who bequeathed this spiritual heritage. We pay our tributes to Father J.B. Hoffman for his contribution to CNT Act, the Cooperative Credit Society, Encyclopedia Mundarika, Munda Grammar, etc. The Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan and Bharat Ratna recipient, Father Kamil Bulke, for his contribution to Hindi literature, English-Hindi dictionary, Hindi Bible, etc. Father John Deeney for his contribution to Ho literature, Ho customs, and Ho Bible. We honor the the martyrs Herman Rasket, A.T. Thomas, Rani Maria, Stan Swami, and many others for their fight for social justice.
अभी तो का खून कभी बेकार नहीं पड़ता.
We fondly remember all the bishops, starting from Bengal and other subsequent dioceses. The men and women religious, the diocesan clergy, catechists, and laity who nurtured the church in Chotanagpur right from its infancy until now in the last 150 years, even laying down their lives for the faith. We thank God for all those who have contributed to sowing the tiny mustard seed, nurturing the plant into a gigantic tree with its large branches so that the birds of the air can nest and rest under its shade. We pray that the Almighty may deign to convert this sesquicentenary jubilee into a moment of extraordinary grace and spiritual renewal to live our Christian faith with courage.